You're riding home on a normal evening when a car inches out past the stop line. You grab a handful of brake, the front dives, the rear wiggles, and for a split second, you have no idea what the bike will do. You stop, just barely, heart hammering and hands shaking. The speed wasn't crazy. The traffic wasn't unusual. So why did the bike feel like it was right on the edge of losing it, even though you just braked as hard as you could? That sketchy feeling doesn't mean your bike is bad. It usually means your braking habits were built from half-truths, old stories, and panic reactions. Modern motorcycles are designed around the idea that the front brake does most of the work, especially on dry pavement, because weight shifts forward when you slow down and loads the front tire. When you treat the bike like a car and lean on the rear pedal while babying the front, you're fighting the way the machine was built to stop. For years, riders have warned each other with one simple phrase: "Don't touch the front or you'll go over the bars." That fear made sense on old bikes with skinny tires and crude brakes, or on bicycles where a slammed front can really pitch you forward. But modern safety tests and rider training on modern motorcycles with good tires all point to the same thing. Used correctly, the front brake is your best friend, not a trap. The problem isn't that you use the front. It's that most people only ever experience it during a panic grab, so their brain quietly files it as dangerous. To change that, you need a new picture in your head of what a good stop feels like. Think of it in two words: set, then squeeze. Set means taking up the slack and adding a gentle initial pressure on both brakes as you roll off the throttle. That tiny input starts the weight transfer and settles the front suspension. Squeeze is the part that follows, where you increase front brake pressure smoothly as the front tire gains grip, while the rear adds just enough to keep the bike level and straight. The difference between grabbing and set and squeeze is the difference between guessing and knowing what will happen next. You can't program this into your body with theory alone. You have to burn it in with simple drills until it becomes automatic. Find a quiet, straight piece of pavement. Ride towards a marker at a steady, low speed. As you pass a reference point, roll off the throttle and apply both brakes together. Light front, light rear. Feel the forks dip just a little. Then, in a smooth motion, squeeze the front harder while keeping the bike upright and press the rear only enough that it feels planted, not skittish. Repeat until the sequence feels slow and calm instead of sharp and surprising. As you get comfortable, add a bit more speed and shorten the distance to your stopping point. Your job isn't to stop as fast as possible at first. Your job is to stop exactly where you planned, with the bike staying straight and your eyes up. That accuracy forces smoothness. Over time, you'll notice something subtle. When you see a hazard developing, your hands and foot go into set and squeeze instead of stabbing at one control. That's your nervous system swapping out the old script for a new one. But most truly scary moments don't happen in a straight line. They happen when you're already turning. Ask riders what scares them, and braking mid-corner is almost always near the top. You're leaned over, the tires are already working to turn, and someone once told you never touch the brakes while leaned or you'll slide. There is a grain of truth there. If you suddenly pile on a lot of front brake at big lean, you can ask more grip from the tire than it has left, and it will let go. But the other extreme, refusing to brake at all once you've turned in, leaves you with only two bad options if something appears in your lane: keep your speed and hope, or stand the bike up and run wide. The middle ground is light, controlled braking while leaned, usually called trail braking. The idea isn't to yank the bike upright or hammer the lever. It's to carry a small, smooth amount of front brake into the first part of the turn, then gently release it as the bike leans and you approach the middle of the corner. Because weight transfer already has the front working, that light pressure helps keep the tire loaded and gives you room to tighten your line or shave a bit more speed if the corner tightens. The key is that the pressure comes on and off slowly, not as a surprise. All of this becomes even more powerful when you understand what the electronics on your bike are doing in the background. Many modern motorcycles come with ABS, and some have linked or combined systems that share braking force between the front and the rear. ABS watches wheel speed and rapidly releases and reapplies brake pressure if a wheel is about to lock, especially helpful on slippery or uneven surfaces. Linked systems send some force to the other end of the bike automatically, which helps riders who still tend to overuse only one brake. Together, these systems can turn a clumsy stop into a controlled one instead of a slide. What they can't do is bend physics. If you charge into a blind corner too fast and grab a huge handful of brake at big lean, ABS can keep the wheel turning, but it can't create grip that isn't there. The tire still has a limit. That's why the best use of electronics is as a safety net under good habits, not as a replacement for them. When your technique is clean and your timing is smooth, systems like ABS are mostly invisible, quietly waiting for the rare moment you truly ask too much. So what does it feel like when your braking stops being sketchy and starts feeling like a skill you actually own? You see a threat developing earlier because you're scanning ahead instead of staring at your front fender. As soon as something looks wrong, you roll off and set both brakes together. The front dives in a controlled way, the rear stays in line, and you feel the bike loading up under you instead of folding. If the situation gets worse, you don't switch from nothing to full panic. You just squeeze a bit more and let the bike work. In corners, you're no longer stuck with a yes or no choice. You can carry a breath of brake into the turn if you're unsure about how tight it is. If a car nudges over the line or there's gravel where you didn't expect it, you already have some brake on and some weight on the front. That makes adding just a little more pressure much safer than slapping the lever from zero. The same bend that used to feel like a coin toss becomes a place where you have options instead of impulses. Underneath all of this is a simple mental shift. Sketchy braking comes from guessing and reacting late. Solid braking comes from understanding what the bike wants to do and giving it clear, early instructions. The front tire wants to work for you. The suspension wants to settle and stay there. The brakes want to be squeezed, not slapped. When your inputs match that, the bike stops feeling like a wild animal you're hanging onto and starts feeling like a partner that talks to you through the bars and the seat. One day, something will go wrong in front of you. A driver will misjudge your speed, a turn will hide a hazard until the last second. In that moment, you won't have time to debate theories or remember diagrams. You'll do whatever you've trained yourself to do. Either your old habits will take over and throw everything onto the wrong control at the wrong time, or your new pattern will quietly kick in. Set, squeeze, stay looking where you want to go.
That's the difference between braking that always feels a bit sketchy and braking that quietly saves your ride when it really counts.